Well, back in March, I was very sceptical of this lockdown procedure, all this business. I was very sceptical of it indeed, and I said so. And I said even in the Blitz, we didn't close our pubs. It was in March. I got hate mail from all over the country on it, saying I was mad and I didn't understand anything, so on and so forth, as I often do before I'm proved right. This is the most extraordinary phenomenon. I'm 70 years old. This is the first time I've seen anything like this. I lived through the Hong Kong flu of 1968, which was far worse than this. I know in my last video a few weeks ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I gave Boris the benefit of the doubt on the fact he'd been misled by the Imperial College and Professor Neil Ferguson, badly misled, and he had to get us all back to work, get us all back cracking again. He'd been misled, it's all been a mistake, and let's get back to work. But he hasn't done that. He hasn't done that for some reason best known to himself. But the figures don't lie. The figures are now coming out, and these are the government's own figures. Let's have a look at what the situation really is. We know, do we not, that 99.994% of people survive. They recover from this bug, from this virus. How many people have died of it? Not with it, of it. I'm not talking about Great Aunt Enid, who was 95 and got hit by a bus and was found to have carried the virus, and it went on her death certificate because they've cheated on the protocols of death certificates. I'm talking about somebody who was really fit, perfectly healthy, who died of it. Pitifully few, and I'll give you the figure, the government's own figure, 0.01%. It's almost unmeasurable. And to give it to you in numbers, that's under 60, 310 people dead. 310 out of 55 million population under 60. That's 1,700 in total. That's out of 65 million. So this epidemic isn't happening, and it hasn't happened. And yet we've closed down the entire economy. We've driven a coach and horses through the principles of English law, the 1688-89 Bill of Rights. Perfectly ordinary people are going around bewildered, frightened, wearing face nappies, which we've been told right up until quite recently weren't any good and didn't do any good and sometimes could actually do harm. Why can that be? Well, of course, it's been leaked, hasn't it, from the Scientific Advisory Group. The perceived level of personal threat needs to be increased using hard-hitting emotional messaging. Their words. Not factual messaging, emotional. So people have been frightened, scared stiff emotionally, that they're going to die of this, and yet clearly nobody is. If you're under 60 and physically healthy, there's a chance of about 1 in 195,000 of you dying of this. You're much more likely to be in a serious road accident, than you are to get this. For this, we have closed the entire economy down. We've increased the national debt by 10%. It was supposed to protect the national health for 2 weeks, and it's gone on for months, and yet half the NHS is now closed, and people are waiting for tests for other problems, ailments, cancers, and so on and so forth. This has turned into a complete and national disaster because of a total and utter overreaction by this government, endorsed by mainstream media, who've let this happen for months and months and months, totally unchallenged. And we will be paying for this, reaping the rewards of this, for some time to come. We even know now, do we not, the figures are coming out, that the average mortality rates over the last 5 years this year is actually below the 5-year average. It's below the 5-year average. That's mortality for everything. So the whole thing has been an overreaction. Some people call it a hoax. Some people call it a scam. Well, I don't know, but I've got some ideas and I'll share them with you at some later date. I'm deeply worried about this.